have a speaker on January 3rd and we go through the circus that we went in with everybody demanding and leveraging Kevin McCarthy like we did last year when in his speaker race, and we don't get a speaker by January 6th, this is a presidential year, we cannot certify our President Trump to be the president of the United States to start the agenda in order for him to take office on January 20th. So are we going to continue to scapegoat a speaker who I think is doing a very tough job in a very tough environment?
With me on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business on Friday on the drama surrounding funding the federal government before Friday night's shutdown deadline. Joining me now is the 50th contract with America, Newt Gingrich. Great to see you, Speaker. Thanks so much for being here. Give us your reaction to all that drama over the week.
Well, let me say first, I thought your interview with Dolan was extraordinary, and I thank you for that Christmas spirit. Look, Claudia Tenney is exactly right. The fact is, Mike Johnson's doing an amazing job with no margin for error. I've ran the House pretty well for 4 years. I've known every speaker since then, including Pelosi. What Johnson did this week is exactly the constitutional system. I think the bill we saw initially, the 1,500-page bill, was the last stand of the Biden old order establishment. Because Trump and Musk intervened, that was killed, and it then took Johnson a couple of votes, working his way around, to pass a bill which is like 136 pages. Right. Now, how can you blame a guy if he takes 1,500 pages, shrinks it to 136, works very closely with President Trump? What's the beef? Every Republican in the House has to grow up and recognize that when you have a 1-vote margin or a 2-vote margin, you had better all be on the same team. And that includes the 30 guys in the Freedom Caucus who wake up every morning saying, my vote's no, what's the topic? I mean, they've got to grow up here and understand every time they do that, they empower Democrats. And if the Republicans are going to really govern, then they've all got to become a team. They've all got to agree that after they're done fighting in the conference, they're all going to vote yes. And if they do that, Johnson and President Trump will be very successful. But I think what Johnson went through was exactly the constitutional process. Yeah. The old order gave us the last stand. The new order broke it down. This is an example of Trump really being the de facto president.
Yeah, what a contrast
Biden was
there.
Totally missing in action.
Well, totally missing in action.
So I think this was real progress.
But even you told me, even you told me on Mornings with Maria that they have a very tight timeline. They better get that second reconciliation package signed into law by July 4th if they're going to do 2 packages.
That's right, and that's why I think House Republicans need to take a pledge that when they get to that tax cut and deregulation bill, they're all going to be a yes. I don't care what their objections are, they're all going to be a yes. And anybody who's confused, the president will go personally and campaign in their district. That's what Reagan did. When Reagan passed his tax cuts, he got 46 Democrats to vote with him. And as Tip O'Neill said, they were drowning in phone calls. They had no choice because Reagan had so aroused the country. That is the heart of President Trump's first 2 years. Yeah. Getting no later than July 4th, earlier is better, no later than July 4th, a tax cut and deregulation bill to give the economy really grow. All
right, stay right there. I want to ask you about the nominees. I'm speaking with the former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, and we'll be right back. Former Speaker, House Speaker Newt Gingrich. Newt, now my sources tell me that the Republicans want to put the debt ceiling raised or eliminated altogether in the first reconciliation package. Should they do it?
Well, I think they have to have a careful vote count. If they can get the votes, they should do it. I mean, legislating is the art of the possible, not the art of the big dream. But I think, President Trump, I think, is going to get all of his nominees approved. There is a Trump effect. I was very struck. I just did a podcast with Yaakov Katz, who used to be the editor of the Jerusalem Post, that was at Newt's World. And he said, there's a Trump effect that you can feel. He said, after Trump won the election, Syria changed, Hezbollah changed, Hamas changed, Iran suddenly became very quiet. And 3 different times he talked about the Trump effect. We're seeing the same thing in Washington. So if the president is willing to campaign on it and explain it, Margaret Thatcher used to say, first you win the argument, then you win the vote. I think he can get an amazing amount done, but he has to have the American people provide the extra muscle so that Congress decides that it has to go along with him. But I have great faith in his ability to get things done. We just saw that You know, you shrank a bill from 1,500 pages to 136. That's pretty amazing and a sign of how much Washington's going to change.
It really is. And we just heard Michael Waltz say that he's optimistic that the remaining hostages will be released in the coming weeks. Newt, it's great to see you. I send you my best regards for a Merry Christmas, you and family. Merry Christmas, and thank you for all that you